Charlize Theron's human rights abuse of black child. Charlize Theron is a South African-born actress who was raised under the apartheid regime. Her ancestors, who created apartheid, perpetuated one of the worst atrocities of ethnic cleansing known to mankind, far worse than Adolf Hitler. Africans were exterminated and have never been recognized because they have no resources to tell the world their story. Charlize went back to South Africa and adopted a boy named Jackson. The circumstances regarding this adoption have not been known. What is known is that he was supposed to be getting a better life. Today, the young boy is seen wearing a dress with a blonde wig as though he were a pet zoo animal and not a human being. This is child abuse. These are human rights abuses. It begs the question, where are the NGOs? Why is there no outcry from human rights groups, those that claim to love African children? But why are they mute on this social engineering that is so detrimental to the black African family? Would Charlize do this to a white male child? Absolutely not. Where are the churches and the so-called spiritual leaders? There are so many churches and spiritual gurus all over the continent who claim that they stand for a higher power and ascribe to a higher standard of living. The family is the basic building block of community. And the family starts with a husband and wife and children, which leads to the promotion of the African race. But why are these spiritual leaders silent about this type of ethnic cleansing that destroys the black community? The so-called African voices and media are growing, but they are just a cheap imitation of Western gossip sites, imitating focus on degenerate behavior and incapable of focusing on serious issues as this one, because it affects the progression of African culture. Africans must stop the freebie mentality, which has led Africans to believe that foreigners have their best interests at heart. They do not ask any questions because they do not understand that there is nothing for free. Charlize wanted to make Jackson a walking advertisement for the emasculation of the black male. There are no groups that fight for the black male child, so she knew that she could get away with turning this black male child into her doll and nobody would say a word about the human rights abuses that she is perpetuating on Jackson, this black child who doesn't have a voice and has no one to speak for him. What Charlize Theron is doing is population control and social engineering. How can a child determine their identity at 5 years of age? How does Jackson know that he wants to be a girl unless Charlize fed this propaganda to him? Charlize, the descendant of the architect of apartheid, wants to normalize the ethnic cleansing of the black male. Jackson's father was not in his life. Otherwise, no African father would allow his son to be changed into a girl. And unfortunately, Jackson's parents thought their child would have access to better education and more opportunities than the other children in the village. We must always remember that it takes a village to raise a child. But it begs the question, where are the village elders to stand up for Jackson and demand that he be raised as a boy and not a girl, and to mandate that adopted children are protected from gender change social engineering? When the Arabs first came to Africa, they enslaved Africans. They took some of them back to the Middle East and committed the most outrageous form of social engineering and ethnic cleansing by castrating black men to make sure they would not be able to propagate the black race and to limit the population of Africans. This is population control. Africans, open up your eyes.